Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Mel Soto. I'm a certified sleep and wellness coach. I'm also a soon-to-be mama, first time. I'm 31 weeks pregnant now. And so I wanted to make a video about how I'm using certain tools that I often use to help me sleep better and that I often coach other people to use to sleep better. How I'm using those tools to help me prepare for labor come October. And just for some background, I am choosing to have an unmedicated birth, meaning my plan is to not use an epidural. Now, this video is meant in no way to sway someone in one direction or the other, whether you want the epidural or not, whether you want an unmedicated birth or not. That's not the point of this video. The point is to share the tools that I have learned from being a sleep coach and helping other people improve their sleep that are also helping me prepare for labor. And these are tools that you can use regardless if you want an unmedicated birth or not. No matter what, they'll be useful, and hopefully it'll be a 2-for-1. It can help you through your laboring process and can help you sleep better. Because wouldn't it be amazing if improving your sleep routine could help you have a more empowered birthing experience, no matter what that birthing experience is? That's the goal for today, that you take something away from this video that can help you not only with your sleep, but also have a more pleasant labor. So the first tool that I'll share is addressing my mindset and beliefs not only around sleep, but around the laboring process. And I bring this up because what we tell ourselves about the world around us, so whether that's about sleep, whether that's about labor, whether that's about ourselves, those thoughts tend to create our reality. And I know that that sounds pretty out there, but just think about it. If you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good at something, that you're never going to amount to whatever it is you're trying to attain, what is the likelihood that you're going to overcome that? It's not very motivating. So take sleep, for example. If you're constantly telling yourself, I'm a bad sleeper, I'm going to get a bad night of sleep, that creates stress and anxiety around the process of sleep, and that interferes with a good night of sleep. It's really hard to get good sleep when you're fretting over it all the time. So that's something that I've personally had to work on a lot. It's one of the things that empowered me to become a sleep coach, and it's a huge piece of the puzzle that I work with my clients on. So switching gears into labor, we've often been taught through the media, through television that we watch, through movies, through other people's stories, that labor is going to be a terrible process. And by no means do I expect it to be a picnic. I'm a first-time mom, so I've never done this before. However, you're not going to catch me telling myself that I'm going to have a terrible experience. I am hoping and preparing for the best. And while I'm not expecting it to be a complete walk in the park, I'm also not expecting it to be the worst experience of my life, which is what I feel like we're kind of often shown in movies and TV shows. So addressing my mindset around labor as well as sleep has been huge. The language that I'm using around labor is shifting from trying to reduce pain and more so increase comfort. So in fact, I'm writing it in my birth plan, like, please don't talk about pain while I'm in labor. We can talk about comfort or perhaps discomfort. There's some other colorful language that I'll come up with, but I really don't want to discuss pain because the words that we say to ourselves have a lot of gravity, whether we're discussing sleep or labor. The second tip that I have found very helpful for sleep and that has been helping me prepare for labor is breath work. Our breath is such a powerful tool, whether we're trying to calm ourselves down or whether we're trying to strategically push something out of us, such as a child. So a lot of the different birthing books that I've been reading, and I have, oh my gosh, I've been reading so many, have instructed breath work. And this is, again, whether you're planning on having an unmedicated birth or whether you're taking an epidural, whether you're doing an at-home birth, whether you're at the hospital, whatever it is, your breath is such a powerful tool. It can help soothe your brain and your body during your, whether you call them rushes or contractions, or whether you are literally pushing out a baby. If you exercise, you know that when you exert yourself, you exhale. You inhale to sort of prepare, and then you exhale on the effort. And that's something that you can do during labor as well. Okay, a third one that I don't use as much as I would like to, but I'm trying to be better about it, is meditation. And there are so many different kinds of meditation. There is a meditation for everybody out there. Personally, I love yoga nidra because I get to do it laying down, and it's a great tool for sleep. But meditation can be useful for sleep or just a sense of calm, whether you're doing a visual meditation, whether it's sort of chanting or doing positive mantras, which can be really helpful for not only sleep, but also labor, or whether you're doing a sort of body scan and pairing breath work with your meditation. There's so many different types of meditation that are really, really helpful for relaxing your brain and your body, giving those anxious, worried thoughts something to focus on. But also during labor, sometimes our minds start to spiral, or we start to really focus on the discomfort that we're feeling, and having something else to focus on and help us calm down is really, really helpful. I don't typically do visual meditations, but I know a lot of women that have found visual meditations or guided imagery to be really helpful during the laboring process. Okay, my fourth tip is lighting. Light in general is a great cue to our brains that it's either time to be alert and energized, or whether it's time to relax and get ready to wind down for sleep. And so, from a sleeping perspective, this is a huge tip that I abide by, but also that I really, really encourage my clients to take heed of. And this could be lighting candles at night. This could be using warm lighting, such as like orange or red hued lighting, or just dimming the lights in general. This is also really helpful when you are going, or when you are in labor and preparing to have a child. A lot of women bring special lights to the hospitals with them because we don't really like the bright, sterile lights of the hospital. It's nice to have something calming and relaxing. In hospitals, you can bring battery-powered lights or battery-powered candles, or your own sort of like Christmas lights or festive lights. If you're at home, you have a little bit more control over what you have, but if you're in a hospital, you can also bring your own lighting too. So use lighting as a cue, whether you're helping yourself prepare for sleep or for labor. That is certainly something that I'm actually looking forward to it. Like, husband, put these lights up, please. I'm doing my breathing exercises. I'm excited about that part. Just kind of like preparing the scene for my baby to arrive. All right, tip number 5 would be just overall bedtime practices. So having a pretty solid wind down routine. And this could be anything that is relaxing. So whether that's reading a book, whether that's stretching, listening to calming music, having some sort of aromatherapy. So if there's certain scents that are very calming to you, just something that is relaxing for you, your body, and your brain before bed. And I often recommend doing some sort of wind down routine 30 to 60 minutes before preparing for bed. Whatever you do to relax before bed will be great for the laboring process, because your mind has already made that connection. It's already made that connection to those activities that you do. So if you do them during labor, your body is ultimately going to recognize that as something to relax to. I know in some of the books that I've read, they've said it's helpful to have your partner either like brush your arm or give you a light massage. Plus, like, that's always nice to have an excuse to say, hey, we're preparing for labor together. You should be giving me nightly massages. I've been using that and it's fantastic. But whatever is relaxing for you prior to bed is going to help you relax and unwind before bedtime, and also going to help you during the laboring process, no matter where you are, whether you're at home or at the hospital or a birthing center. All right, and then the last idea or tip that I'll share is some sort of heat therapy. Now, this is very common for women that are in labor, because any woman who has had any sort of like cramps or bloating understands that heat can feel really, really good and comforting in those times. And heat therapy can also be really helpful before bed. I often take a bath or a shower before bed. When I had access to a sauna, I would do that. And I recommend that for my clients as well. And the reason being is that heating up our bodies an hour or two before bed actually expedites the cooling process. When we heat ourselves externally, we cool internally. And our bodies naturally want to cool off before bed. We want to drop in temperature. So that process can help us get better sleep. It can help us fall asleep faster and get more restful sleep, deep sleep. Just don't do it right before bed because it might take you a little while to cool off. But as I already mentioned, heat therapy can be really helpful for the laboring process too. Again, it's going to feel good on any of those achy parts of the body. And if there is any sort of discomfort, and as we carry more and more weight, certain certain body parts do tend to ache a little bit more. They need a little bit of love. And part of giving yourself love could be having a bathtub or a hot shower at some point during labor. So to wrap it all up, these aren't just sleeping tips, as I've mentioned. These are great tools to help you prepare both physically and mentally for a more pleasant laboring experience. Because again, not saying it's going to be a picnic, but we do want to kind of dispel all of the negativity that we've been told about the birthing process. That's at least what I'm trying to do, because I want my experience to be as pleasant as it possibly can be. I lived most of my life dreading labor, and I made a commitment to myself when I got pregnant. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be terrified of this anymore. I have spent years of my life trying to have a more positive relationship with sleep, and it's been successful. And now I help other people do that. So why not have the same sort of mindset with labor too? No matter where you are in your pregnancy, all of these tools are great to start using, even if you're not pregnant yet, if you're planning on expecting at some point, if you have no interest in getting pregnant. I would love to know what you're all doing to prepare for the birthing process, or if it's not possible, these are all still really great tools to help you sleep. Again, these were all tools that I learned just from becoming a sleep coach and helping other people improve their sleep. And so they're tools that are familiar to me that I'm either refamiliarizing myself with or cozying up to a little bit more now that I am preparing for birth. And no matter where you're at, whether you're just starting to think about pregnancy, whether you never want to think about it, whether you're at the 31-week mark with me, or maybe you're planning on having your baby tomorrow, I hope you're getting good sleep, taking care of yourselves, and that this video was helpful.